why do high-performing women tend to burn out more quietly?
I feel like inbuilt into women is this sense of martyrdom. And we believe that our job, because, physiologically, our job is to be nurturers and caretakers. And that often will come at the detriment of yourself. So you will quietly ignore your needs to make sure that everyone around you is taken care of, whether it be in the workplace, whether it be your immediate family. And burnout creeps up on you. So it starts off just like, oh, I'm tired today. I'll get to bed early, and then something pops up and you don't. And then all of a sudden it's 2 weeks of late nights, early mornings to get all of the things done. And I can obviously speak to this through the lens of being a mum. It's really, really easy for self-care. And I don't mean like bubble baths and face masks and stuff like that. It's really easy for those things that actually fill your cup back up to be put on the back burner. And all of a sudden, you're snapping at people, you're resentful every time someone asks you to do something for them because somewhere along the line, you've stopped giving any time and attention to anything that you need to like make yourself feel even just like remotely human.
Mm-hmm.
And your tolerance to being needed, your tolerance to dealing with stress, your tolerance to dealing with discomfort or anything like that, it's just gone.
What's one part of training most people don't see or understand?
I think just the whole workload of it, really.
Mm.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how much, and they're repetitive. Like you're drilling the one skill like 1,000 times to the same punch 1,000 times, and just refining like a jab. You throw that 1,000,000 times over your career, and you're still not perfecting it. You're just getting better and better. It's just the repetitions. I think they don't realize it's just the same thing. That's why it can be quite boring at times. Like you're just still on the same punches, but you just got to get it better and better and better and perfect, so it flows better. That's one thing I'd say. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize it's the repetitions. You're just repeating, drilling the skills.
Yep.
It's just as you said, it's a mindset, and I think that's the beauty of this job too, is changing people's mindset. You know, like the amount of people we've probably helped, not even physically but just mentally. It's actually rewarding.
Yeah.
Not to get too soft, but it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
To see it actually happen, and when they get excited or super happy about something, like hitting a lift or seeing a certain number on the scale, it's cool.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Just as simple as like, kind of coming into the gym and then, working up that frequency each week, or watching people come into a class and, they're on the verge of vomiting after 20 minutes and then fast forward a couple of weeks. Or
100%.
I normally say to people, give it that 2 weeks of like just showing up, being consistent, just doing what you can. You don't have to try and keep up with anyone else in the class.
For sure.
And then 2 weeks time or 3 weeks time, like it gets a little bit easier, but also that's when you make it a little bit harder. You go a bit heavier on weights and
100%.
you start progressing like that. And it's been really cool kind of watching people be shit scared to come into a class, into that sort of environment, and then watching them progress over X amount of time.
100%. Even just coming into the gym by themselves and walking up those stairs.
Yep.
Another thing is, no one's staring at you when you're training. The world doesn't revolve around you, right? Like, and I know it might seem pretty hectic for me to say that as a PT, but it's true. Like, when you sign up to a gym, everyone's clapping for you. That's up there. We're all here for the same reason. The gym is the only place where everyone's here for literally the same reason. No matter how fit you are, what size you are, race, gender, whatever. We're all here to get better. Like, no one's looking at you like you're doing something wrong or anything. You're here literally just to improve your life, and that's it. Just had to put that one out.
We'll clip that one. Yeah. So with 75 to 80% of Pilates participants being women and only 20 to 25% men, it's often seen as a female-dominant workout, but is Pilates really just for women?
No, Pilates is not just for women. That's one thing. Like, I don't know. This might be controversial. Might be the first one that's going to give you a bit of controversy in the podcast, Sam, but I go crazy when I see online all the time the word Pilates princess. I go crazy because Pilates wasn't. Joseph Pilates didn't create Pilates as a soft side of training. It was low impact, but it was created for the military, the war people. It was for the war people that were on hospitals. He created the reformer. He created Pilates through the springs of the beds in the hospitals. It wasn't meant to be. Have you seen the guy training guys or training women, pushing down? He went full on and full hard. So when I see people treating the Pilates like it's for women, and they're making nothing wrong with feminine what you're doing Pilates, but it doesn't mean that you have to go soft and pretty. And it's not about how we look. It's not about how soft. No, it's about what it's meant to be. It's meant to be to strengthen, to align the body, and to avoid injuries or to recover for injuries. So we can't do that if we are just focusing on only women, all in pink, and great day, we haven't even sweat. Yeah. That's what I get really passionate about this, because it was meant to be a form of rehabilitation, strengthening war people that came out of injuries of war, like fighting a war. Definitely. That's what he invented it. So I get really passionate. Men should be doing more Pilates. The amount of hernias you guys could avoid. Yeah. That's the way I look at it.
Alrighty. I think that's a nice little transition into supplements. So let's chat a little bit about that. What are your top 2 most recommended supplements for clients and why?
Nowadays, if you ask me back in the days, it'd be like, well, you're good on meathead supplements, but I'm going to say fish oil tablets and vitamin D, because cardiovascular health and your heart health is probably, and again, like, just organ function is probably the most beneficial supplementation you can probably take, just because, again, like, if you're healthy on the inside, you're healthy on the outside. So I'm going to go with your good old over-the-counter supplements.
Yeah, cool. Do you think magnesium's overrated? That seems to be like the buzzword at the moment. I
personally use it, so I'm going to say no. I use it on a daily, actually, and I use a lot of it. I wouldn't say it's overrated, but like, it's also one thing that it's not going to work on its own. Like, if you got someone with a piss poor diet and they're just taking magnesium just to be healthy,
they're trying to band-aid.
It's not going to do anything. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna have a salad for dinner after eating shit all day. Like, it's not going to do shit. Like, supplements work if you work. That's what they're called, supplements. They're there to supplement things, man. But like, any supplement can be useful, and any supplement can be called overrated too.
What are your overrated supplements?
Test boosters.
Yeah.
Test boosters are shit. I love them, but BCAAs are pretty overrated too. And again, I love it, but fat burners, thermos, they can be a little bit overrated as well. Because, not saying that they don't work, like, they are great. Like, I use it first thing in the morning, but the thing with thermos/fat burners is, I call them thermos over fat burners, because like, the untrained person or the newbie that comes to the gym, they'll look at it and be like, oh shit, it's this fat burner, it's going to work. So they think they take one scoop of that and continue with their lifestyle, then they see no change, they're like, fuck, this don't work. So the fitness industry is smart labeling that as a fat burner, like the word fat burner, like, you know, it's like if I created a product and I called it freaking anabolic steroids 2000 and put freaking Milo in it, and people are like, fuck, this is good, it tastes like Milo, but the label says freaking you're going to put on
10 kilos of
10 kilos in a week, in a month, but if you take this 5 times a day, but I'm not saying it's going to put muscle on you, it's going to put 10 kilos off.
If you could put a quote or a message on a billboard that every young and inspiring fighter could see, what would it say?
Shoot for the stars. At least you can, even, yeah, ready? I'll sort of like this one. Like, if you shoot for the stars, and if you even fail and fall short, you at least touch the sky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I like that one.
I sort of like believe in that too. That's what I've always done.
So what are a few simple things people can do daily to help better themselves overall?
Set yourself a routine. So get up at the same time every day if you can, if you're fortunate enough to do that. Start off with a nice clean breakfast. Even catch yourself when you're thinking negative thoughts and try and catch them and change them into a positive thing, just to reset your mind into a positive state. I think that goes a long way in being positive and feeling well.
Mm-hmm. Is there an example that you would have for that, or?
Yeah, for example, you might be feeling a bit crap on the day, and you're just having these negative thoughts, such as you're tired, you feel like you're banging your head against the wall. You just got to catch yourself saying that and just firm to yourself everything's going to be well and everything's working out, everything's great, and just just follow your actions and just think positive.
So it's more that self-talk.
Yeah, you got to self-talk yourself up.
Yeah.
So if you're always down on yourself, it's going to become your reality. The more you positive talk, the more your reality becomes positive.
Do you have your own affirmations that you tell yourself?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I tell myself I'm always, feeling healthy. I'm always wealthy. I'm always loved. I'm always giving love in return. And I'm always striving for greatness because I'm great.
Mm-hmm.
You got to believe that you're great to be great. If you don't, you'll never be great.
No, definitely. People buy trainers. You could be the worst trainer, but you could be not the most experienced trainer, and people can just gravitate towards you. I guess the clients have to relate to the trainer to a certain extent.
For
sure. What's a common piece of advice you give most clients?
Don't look too much into a massive picture. I think it's kind of been the common theme of today, but take your small wins, take your minor wins. Don't look too far in advance and have a certain physique goal in mind. I think be smart with what you're training, with what you're doing in your training, with your goals. And I think have small wins there for you each day.
And that kind of ties into the next question as well, as to how do you keep clients motivated during plateaus or setbacks? Me personally, I just know
your question.
Yeah, I know. It's almost like you read them. It's almost like you read the questions yourself. So going back to the setbacks and how to keep them motivated, I find just relaying back to 4 weeks, if they hit a PB or if the shirts are feeling a bit tighter, or if the pants are feeling a bit looser, like those little motivation wins definitely then helps. I find blast forward clients' motivation.
When you've made a certain amount of progress, your progress will slowly get smaller and smaller and smaller, just simply because of percentages, right? Like someone could completely change their body within the space of a year, but the last 4 to 6 weeks, it might only be small. But that's when it's important as a trainer to actually track their progress. So then you can say, hey, look what you're doing 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. Look at the weights you were doing 8 months ago. Look at the clothes you were wearing 12 months ago. It's always good to account back, like you were saying, to that previous history and where they have been. Mm-hmm. If someone makes a large amount of progress, they can progress tends to slow down as it naturally does. People might feel a bit more unaccomplished as what they used to be. However, if you look at the bigger picture, take them back 12 months ago compared to where they are now, that keeps my clients motivated because they see where they were, they see where they are now, and they go, holy hell, look at the difference.
Well, it's a lot for someone over that 12 months if, their first day or their first month at the gym, they couldn't even work up the confidence to walk onto that main gym floor. They were just doing classes, or not that there's anything wrong with classes, but if the anxiety is that high that they couldn't even walk through the main part of the gym floor at 4:00 on a Monday afternoon, and then fast forward 12 months and, they're doing everything, or they're training friends, whatever, like that's a massive win that I think is definitely underrated for a lot of people.
That's their first win. Like people don't realize, but that is their first win. They are winning by going out of their comfort zone already. Before they've made any progress, they are progressing. without seeing a number on the scale drop or go up, or without a weight being even lifted, they're already progressing because they've gotten out of the comfort zone, they're trying something else, and they are really pushing themselves to make them a better person.
So how would you connect burnout and identity together?
Most women that I deal with are addicted to producing and being productive because their worth has been attached to productivity. And that stems from childhood, how you receive love and affection and validation as a child. If you were always praised for doing well at school, if you were always praised for being helpful, if you were always praised for like thinking of other people, or you were given extra attention for doing things for other people or whatever, your brain then starts associating those things with how you receive validation and love. So you then look, as you get older, you're looking for that connection and that validation and that praise in almost everything that you do, because
For being a pleaser.
yeah, that's exactly, you become a people pleaser and you become addicted to this process of achieving because achieving makes you feel good, or you get praise, or you get that connection because that's what we're wired for. We're wired for connection. We're wired for receiving love however we can get it. So when you learn from an early age that you get love from being productive, what are you constantly going to do? Be productive. And a lot of women struggle with this concept of rest, like feeling like they have to earn it. So sitting down for 10 minutes just to like catch a breath. And that's why I think a lot of, you look at relationships, a lot of women get really frustrated at men who can just sit down and watch TV for an hour, just completely mindlessly, while the woman's racing around the house trying to like clean everything up. And that miscommunication of like her nervous system feeling super uncomfortable to do what he's doing. She's not actually mad at him about sitting down watching TV. She's unconsciously resentful at the fact that he can just switch off and watch TV. But it's triggering her sense of like her lack of safety around being able to rest, because she feels like she has to earn it by doing all the housework. Then she can sit down.
There's one thing that I really find that helps with clients if they come in and they just don't want to be there in the first place. And what I say is, if you're flat out at work or at home or with the kids, whatever it is, when that gym session, whether it's 45 minutes or 60 minutes, whether it's with a trainer or not with a trainer, you leave all your shit at that door. And then as soon as you walk in through those doors, you focus on yourself for that 45 minutes, 60 minutes. Try not to worry about anything else. Turn your phone off, turn the notifications off, whatever you need to do. And then after that session, once you walk back out those doors, it's up to you whether you take that all back on straight away, or if you just let it settle a little bit.
And that's where we come into it and sort of give them that assistance to getting them focused into the job, and then once they get the training session done, there's nobody that walks away that doesn't feel better. And with the nice chemical boost that they've received as well. I guess they deal with stress a lot better, and they come up with solutions for those stresses.
I'll only be touching on a little bit of general information about it. So what is creatine? If you've ever wondered what the creatine actually does, if it's safe, or what the difference is between monohydrate and HCl, I hope I can answer some of these questions for you. So your body naturally makes creatine, and it stores it as phosphocreatine in your muscles. When you're lifting, sprinting, or doing anything explosive, your body uses ATP, its main energy currency. Creatine helps you recycle ATP faster, so you can keep pushing. So creatine should be able to help you with better strength output, faster recovery, and even some potential brain benefits. Some studies show it may help with mental clarity and fatigue, especially during sleep deprivation or intense mental effort. The benefits of creatine is increased strength and power. Creatine is one of the most research-backed supplements for improving strength and explosive power. Faster recovery. It helps reduce muscle cell damage and inflammation after a workout. Muscle growth. It helps draw water into your muscles, giving that full look and supporting muscle growth over time.